Hey guys, welcome to our very first retro review. We're going to do this often in the following weeks and days in English. We're going to review movies that have long been forgotten, basically, that not many people talk about, and they should be talked about more because they are simply great, and of course, many of my favorites. So let's begin. The first retro review will be about the movie The Fly from 1986. This movie was directed by David Cronenberg and is based on a short story published in 1957. There was a former movie called The Fly, also from the 1950s, 60s, but people that like those movies, like B movies from that era, of course know that movie, but I think The Fly from 1986 is so much more well known. And it stars Jeff Goldblum and Gina Davis, two of the most brilliant actors to surge basically from the 1980s. And the movie is about a scientist who is doing teletransportation experiments on his house, basically, and he uses these pods, like telepods, he names them, and he transports beings from one to the other. And in a desperate moment, he chooses to enter one of the pods and transport himself. But unknown to him, there's a fly on the pod that he's in, so he's fusioned basically with the fly, and he starts becoming one. Not really a fly, but like a hybrid between a fly and a human. So this movie is gory as hell. I mean, David Cronenberg, he was the director of the movie The Thing, and that movie is really gory and really bloody and really, horror of that kind of horror that you're just like, this is disgusting. Well, this is the movie for you, and The Thing is also the movie for you, which I might review soon, but I haven't seen that movie in a while. But I saw The Fly recently, and it really holds up. I mean, there's a bunch of things that you see in this movie that are so 80s. I mean, all the objects, all the hair, the fashion. But if you actually see the fashion of Gina Davis and Jeff Goldblum too, I saw this movie with my mother, and she was like, you know what? All of these clothes are really coming back. So it really holds up. Cinematically, obviously too. And the movie, if you really see the movie, it was a cheap ass movie. I mean, it was really cheap. Not really many locations, not hardly any exteriors. I mean, and there are like two main characters and one supporting character. So it's amazing what could be done with so little money, basically. I mean, David Cronenberg did this for nothing, basically, and he won a lot, so much that there's a sequel to this movie, and the sequel, well, I saw it years ago, and it's really not as good because it really loses the philosophical question that this movie poses, and actually ends up being way more like gory and awful horror awful. I mean, than this one. But The Fly is just amazing because we discover again Gina Davis and Jeff Goldblum, who are at the top of their game. They're really so good. The romance between them is just perfect. It's really a movie that seems to take place in the future. I mean, in the present for us, in the future for them, because of the way they relate to each other. I mean, in the 80s, it was still frowned upon by that women would just go with anyone to from one place to the person's home, basically to the man's home. It's still not the coolest thing ever today, but it's more accepted today in the sense that we have seen that in movies and in television shows and everything. And back then, not really, and they do that. I mean, basically the opening scene is that, but it's really organic, and the characters just fuse each other, fuse into each other. Basically, they really complement each other, and they are really meant for each other. I mean, whoever cast these two actors, I mean, I don't know if it was Cronenberg or not. Really great casting. I mean, amazing casting. The other great thing about this movie, the makeup, visual effects. It doesn't really have that many, to be honest, because it was a low budget film, but the makeup is just amazing. The prosthetics, everything that they used to create this illusion that Jeff Goldblum was actually transforming into a fly is just brilliant. Everything was practical. Everything was just there for them. I mean, they looked for many ways to make it look original and organic in order to make like this visual effects thing, and it really worked out. Everything is makeup, everything is practical makeup, so it's really really good. When you see the final product, the final hybrid, it's awful. I mean, it's horrifically awful. I mean, in the sense that it really scares you because it's disgusting. But you can actually appreciate how great it was that makeup advanced at that moment, because they really did a creature that's outstanding. It's one of the best creations horror cinema has made, for sure. I mean, I don't think there's a doubt there. And the screenplay, it really is consequential with the transformations that the character goes on through, and with the personality, original personality of the scientist, of Jeff Goldblum's character, which we actually understand because we understand where he comes from. Basically, we understand what kind of person he is, and what kind of person she is, Gina Davis. So it's a really organic screenplay. It really works. There's nothing that's left to the imagination. Her ex boyfriend, actually, it's really a great way to like put a counterweight to everything that happens. I mean, it really works so much better. And David Cronenberg has done amazing movies like The Thing again, and he has done some other movies that are not so great, and then are not so straightforward, I would say. He tries to do this thing when it's like normal life, but it has different results in his movies, and I think in this one is just amazing. This movie actually won the Academy Award for Best Makeup, and it's really well deserved. I mean, it has never been so well deserved, that prize, because they give it to some other movies that I won't name, but it's just stupid. But in this case, it was so well deserved. So this is a great movie. If you like gory movies, if you like horror movies, if you like science fiction-y movies from the 80s that are so great, because there are a buckload of those, and they're so great. This is the movie for you if you haven't seen it, and if you have seen it, go and see it again, because it's just so amazing. So amazing. Really recommend it. Thank you so much for watching this retro review with me. Many more are coming to this channel. Please subscribe to my channel, share this video on your social media. Please comment down below if you have seen this movie, and of course like or dislike this video. Thank you so much. Goodbye.